Now fast forward 10 years. The ban's about to expire. And here's CNN again out there repeating the lie. They're showing heavily restricted, fully automatic machine guns and saying, oh my God, this ban's about to expire. Machine guns are going to flood the streets of our country. You know, I happened to be sitting in the studio at CNN, and they ran that clip, and I had just had enough. And they couldn't stop me from saying what I did. Here's what happened.
We'll give you the other side from the Executive Vice President of the National Rifle Association, Wayne LaPierre. Wayne, thanks for being with us.
Hi, Kara. Good to be with you.
Well, if the ban on assault weapons expires, what kind of weapons would be legal?
Kara, let me say this at the start. I'm glad you ran that story, because apparently the only difference between the New York Times and CNN is that when a reporter for the New York Times fakes a story, he's fired, and at CNN he's not. Your bureau chief, John Zarella, deliberately faked a story yesterday intending to show that the performance characteristics of banned firearms on the list are somehow different from the performance characteristics of firearms not on the banned list. He was implying that these were machine guns or fully automatic guns. That's not true.
Mr. LaPierre, I have to stop you there. No one fakes stories at CNN, and John Zarella definitely did not fake a story at CNN. You're very off base. I'm going to let you say your opinion, and let's have a conversation, but don't accuse our reporter of faking any story, sir.
Let me say it again in front of the whole country. Your reporter faked that story yesterday. It deliberately misled the viewer. There's no way it could be true, and I challenge CNN to defend it.
You know, NRA forced CNN to air a correction of that story, and the following Monday they did. But the sad thing is, it's almost like you got to be there right in the studio with a bank robber running out and the die exploding all over him before you get a chance to get the correction. So that deception was exposed. Americans got to hear the truth, and Congress found out about it, and that Congress let that lie expire in 2004. The Clinton gun ban accomplished exactly what we predicted. Nothing. But ever since, the same old elites have looked for political cover to try to bring back the same old ban, even expanded more. And as of this morning, they think they found it in Mexico's terrible turmoil. This time the lie is that Mexico is losing its brave battle against violent criminals because of our freedom here in the United States. The lie is that if we would just surrender more of our Second Amendment, Mexican drug cartels couldn't get the guns they get to terrorize their people and ours. I mean, give me a break. I mean, this is straight out of Bill Clinton's playbook. The anti-gun elites like Eric Holder, and you heard him say it the other day, promoting a gun ban on the fresh graves of tragedy. I mean, what arrogance to think Americans will buy that lie again. That old lie that criminals of any nationality obey gun bans. I mean, they're criminals. I mean, like most Americans, I reject the premise that diminishing our Second Amendment freedom could ever curtail Mexico's drug cartels. And I know you do too. We should condemn this unprecedented attempt to exploit another country's crisis to advance a gun ban here in the United States of America. What's more, I say the proud people of Mexico, they need their gun rights back. They need their own meaningful Second Amendment to protect their homes, to protect their families, to protect their lives, the law-abiding people down there. Meanwhile, on our side of the border, boy, I'll tell you, you've read it in the papers, we're watching the marvelous machinery of Second Amendment freedom at work in this country like never before. In one of the worst economies in our lifetimes, gun sales are the highest on record in this country. So what does it mean when hard-working men and women postpone that new couch or that new set of tires for their car to invest in their own security? It means law-abiding Americans see the threats coming at them, and they're saying, I won't bet my life on the promises of politicians. Americans all over this country are saying, I will fight for my family, I will fight for my neighborhood, and I will fight for my freedom from tyranny, from crime, and from any threat in any form. That's precisely why we have a Second Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. And it's what makes our country unique in the entire world. You know, history has ways of reminding us, in stark and scary ways, why our Founding Fathers gave us the Second Amendment in this country. Without it, liberty is nothing but an illusion. Every freedom you have is only as real as the Second Amendment is real. Wherever the Second Amendment is fake, and you know this in your heart, freedom is fake. Our divine rights, they might have been endowed by a creator, but they're preserved by mortals. If we mortals have the means and the will to make it stick. You know, we live like our freedoms are forever. But listen, and listen good. Our freedoms are nothing but stains on a rotten piece of parchment paper in a museum somewhere. Freedom is nothing but dust in the wind until it's guarded by the blued steel and dry powder of a free and armed people. To believe that freedom is safe without the Second Amendment is as foolish as believing your money is safe without a padlock. And that's true. It will be pillaged and it will be lost forever. Do you get it? The Second Amendment is the foundation to everything. Only the Second Amendment breathes life into liberty. The right to keep and bear arms is the one right that allows rights to exist at all. That's why we must view any attack on the Second Amendment as an attack on freedom. You know, it's not politically correct, but I don't care if their butts pucker from here to the Potomac. Our Founding Fathers understood that the guys with the guns make the rules. Our Founding Fathers understood that freedom always rides with a firearm by its side. They understood that if the only guys with the guns are the bad guys, we're screwed. Our Founding Fathers knew that. And it's no different today. That's why we own guns. We're not giving them up. The Constitution says it, we believe it, and that settles it.